everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, The Sun, where we're always working towards something greater. On my channel we talk about spiritual and personal growth, so if you're interested in that, you may want to stick around and kind of watch more videos from me. If so, I would be really grateful if you hit a like and subscribe to my channel and followed me. That would be awesome. But we are going to be talking today about my spiritual awakening and my growth kind of things that I guess kind of awakened me or whatever to my spiritual journey. Just kind of going to be a chatty video of kind of my personal experience in that area and what happened in my life that kind of got me into the spiritual journey and growth and path and all that kind of stuff. So I think when we grow up in life, we honestly kind of get into a place of where we're kind of based on living in a logic mindset, that it's kind of just the way most of us are taught to be brought up and everything, to focus on following the logical side of our heads and what we need to do and what needs done and things. What's supposedly the right socially acceptable thing and all these kind of things like that. And when we all get out of school and graduate and go on to living our own lives outside of being in school systems and living with our parents and everything, I think a lot of us at some point go through this feeling like life isn't exactly where we want to be. We're not totally happy with maybe the way that things are or whatever it might be in that case and stuff. And that's really kind of what ended up happening for me. Like, I got out of school and I moved out and kind of was living on my own, but was living with my significant other's parents and stuff at the time. And I realized that I just really wasn't happy with my life even then, and I didn't really know why I was starting to feel so unhappy after being out of school. Like, when you're a kid, you always think you're gonna be really happy being an adult and having all the things on your own, but for me, it's not really what happened. I think I got out of school and ended up just feeling really disconnected and really unhappy, and having to go out and get jobs and stuff and be a responsible adult just became really challenging and hard for me. And I dealt with it. I think, for many years, just feeling kind of upset about how things were, and just kind of, in a way, not really accepted, but just kind of knew that was what I was supposed to do, was just keep working and these regular jobs and just kind of get by and stuff. And I feel like this entire time, my heart and my intuition side was calling out to me, being like, listen to me. Do these things that I want you to do. Why aren't you paying attention to me? Because I did. I neglected my emotional and heart intuitive side for so long to keep up these responsibilities. Like, I pushed it down and pushed it down and pushed it down until it finally came to a head, where I was working for an insurance company in a claims office that I didn't want. I was so unhappy with the job. I was so unhappy where I was that I got to a really bad point. Kind of embarrassing to talk about, I guess, but I got to such a bad point with it that I ended up like having anxiety attacks in the morning, to where I would get out of the shower after probably, I think I was crying in the shower sometimes, and then like heaving, feeling like I was going to throw up. And at that time I didn't know that was anxiety. I was just like, why do I keep feeling like I'm going to throw up after I get out of the shower? And sometimes I wouldn't want to go so bad that I would like cry about wanting to not have to go and deal with it, that I would have trouble getting myself to stop crying for long enough that I could get myself ready and put on makeup and stuff to go. And then I would get there and I would sit in the parking lot and try and choke back tears to not mess up my makeup or look like I'd been beaten with a stick or whatever when I went inside the place to start doing my job for the day. And it was just a really draining experience, and I remember every day that I was there just feeling like God, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, there's got to be something better than this. Like, I can't keep doing this. I've got to find a different job. I've got to find a different way. I've got to find something that's better because I can't keep doing this. You know, I'm so unhappy here. And it came to the point with that job where I just ended up calling out a lot. I called out so many times, and just none of the time that I took off was ever enough. And when I finally got to that point of just feeling like none of the time that I took off was ever enough, I eventually got to a point too where I got tonsillitis and got sick, and I couldn't really keep the job after that because I just had so many occurrences and stuff that had happened. And I just remember a lot of these days that I was calling in and stuff, I would be sitting at home and I would be sitting on the couch watching Ralph Smart or Infinite Waters. I would be watching him and stuff like that with like Dark Night of the Soul kind of stuff. And I would just sit there and cry and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm going through that. Like, nobody gets it. Nobody understands. It's how it feels. It's just I'm all alone in how I feel with this right now. And I was really, really down at that time, you know, and wanted something different, but was so hesitant to be able to quit the job and look for something else because I was like afraid we weren't going to have enough money and we were going to lose everything. So I stayed in it and just kind of, you know, gritted my teeth and bared through it a lot of the times. And it was, you know, it was really difficult. It was really difficult. And when I finally really got into the spiritual journey, it was because of watching those videos, but it was also having my black tourmaline crystal that really got me into believing the spirituality, because I was able to guess what its properties were, I felt it helped me do, and how it helped me feel, that I speculated all on my own before I actually went and looked what those properties were. And I was like, whoa, this is really real. And then when I finally quit, I guess, that job, because I was just coming to a point where I was just so unhappy with it, I came to a place where I was like, well, whether we can make it or not, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, but I can't do this anymore. I need to find something else. Like, I'm so burnt out here. I can't do it anymore. And so I told my significant other, I was like, well, I can't, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be quitting. I can't keep doing it. And I remember the day that I actually did leave and go home for the last time. I had a timer on my computer that was on my last break when I was really considering leaving and just going home early for the day because my tonsillitis and stuff was bothering me again, and I didn't want to be there, honestly, of course. I had that timer on the computer, and when I stopped it when I came back from my last break, it said 1 minute and 11 seconds was left. And I'd been seeing that number like a lot. Like, it's always been a number that I feel like follows me around for many years. And I remember when I came home that day, I cried some more. Lots of crying, but I came home and cried some more. I sat on my swing out in the backyard, my little hammock chair out there, and I read the meaning of what the 111 meant. And at that time, I was really definitely feeling like it meant just kind of my guardian angels and everything reassuring me, basically, that I know this is scary, but we're going to be okay, you know, like, you're going to be all right. Things will be better from here on, you know, like, things are going to get better from leaving this situation, so don't feel so much weight and worry that it won't be okay. It's going to be okay. And it was okay. Like, obviously financial situations and stuff haven't always been perfect, but we've been okay, you know, and that's been the important thing. And through all the dark night of the souls and all those things, just feeling that sadness, feeling like I needed to find something better and stuff, really set me out on this journey. It set me out on the journey to find more of the things that actually will make me happy and bring me fulfillment in life. I've always felt like life shouldn't be spent just working it away, because otherwise you're then going to get to the end of your life and be like, where did all my time go? I spent my life just doing what I needed to get by, but nothing more than that. And it didn't really feel like it was worth it. You're just kind of going to have regrets if that's all you do with your life is just go work a 9-to-5 job that you don't even like, and you don't get to experience life and do the actual things that matter to you. It's just going to leave you in a place of regret, I think. I've always felt like life is worth living a bit more. And if you can't live it, then why? Why live a life at all if you can't enjoy what you're doing at all? And so through all of that, I, picked up the law of attraction and things like that, trying to be more positive, finding my own truths and things, going through this whole process of trying different jobs and having successes and failures and things that I'm learning about what I do and don't want in jobs. And, it's been a learning experience, but I definitely can say that since I've started this spiritual journey for myself, I do feel a lot more positive, and I feel like at this point in my life I am making, strides forward and have been ever since leaving that job. Things haven't been perfect for me. Things have still been struggles and stuff, obviously, but I do feel like there's at least more hope. And I think that that's where I felt really upset back then, was that I didn't feel like I fit in at all with the world and how it's supposed to function, and I didn't feel like there was any hope for it to get better a lot. Like, I felt like there had to be hope and had to be a way, but I didn't know how to really find it. And I'm feeling like I at least have the opportunity to find it being on this journey. And I can look back over the progression of all of the jobs that I've had since and been like, well, that was a little better than the last step, or, that was maybe a little hiccup, but the next thing that I got after that was a better thing. It's definitely made little bits of improvement from every job that I go to, and it just seems like it keeps getting better. And right now, to be honest, there's changes that I'm making in my life that I'm really kind of excited to start seeing happen. It's scary to make some of the changes that I'm trying to make. But at this point in my life, I've started to try and make myself happier by not just relying on a career to make me happier. Trying to focus more on actually living my life to the fullest and being more present and things like that, and just the now and here and now, instead of focusing on the future, which caused anxiety about whether it's going to be achieved or not. So I just feel like things are going to be getting better with some of the other changes that I'm making. That is honestly a scary change to be making, but I'm hoping it's going to make helpful headway with it. So yeah, guys, that has been my spiritual journey that's kind of brought me all up into this point, and what kind of awakened me was just honestly coming to a point where my intuition and my heart couldn't be ignored anymore. That I was so unhappy with where I was, and pushing down my logical, or pushing down my intuitive side to only listen to the logic, and it got me in a bad place. And recently I forgave my logical side, because for a long time I felt like I hate my logical side. It did nothing for me but get me into a bad and depressed place. Like, I was so unhappy just always following the need tos. Like, I know I need that side of my brain and that side to make logical and responsible decisions, but I hate that side because it's always the side that makes me do everything I don't want to do. I recently forgave that side of myself to not hate that side of me, because it's like, it is still part of me. It's still part of me, and it can't be ignored and hated, because all it's trying to do in the end was, it was trying to do its job to do everything that it knew how to. It was making me survive in the only way that I knew how up until that point. And all it was trying to do was help me, be safe and help me have all of the things that I needed to have and needed to do. So I can't hate that side, but I'm working on now finding a balance between the two, between having my responsible and logical side, but listening to it a great deal less and listening to my heart a bit more of what it really wants to find the true happiness in life. Because I can't do one without the other fully. They need to meet in the middle and be unified to have a truly well and balanced life. I hope that this video was interesting to you. If you want to leave comments or anything about your own personal journey and what spiritually awoke you, I would be interested to know. So drop some comments in the comment box about that. But otherwise, I hope you all are reaching for the sun, the sky, the stars above. May life be filled with happiness, light, and love. Bye.